We're getting to the nitty gritty today as far as how to teach writing. I'm going to talk about essays, and the way that I approach them might be a little bit different than how many people do, but it's a system that has saved me time. It has gotten great results for my students, and I want to take you through exactly how I introduce an essay and then the timeline that I use to complete them. So I'll take you to my screen. So here's the path we've been taking. We started here with confidence and went to ownership, skills, feedback, and grading. We're going to talk about mastery today. But what I want to do is make sure that you go back in this playlist because and check out confidence and ownership and skills. Because if you don't have those in place in your writing program, if you're only focusing on the mastery part of this, which is when they're doing their products, I like to call them, they are doing essays or formal written pieces without everything that comes before it, it will fall flat. That has been my experience. So go back and make sure that you check those out. I want to show you a little bit. This is inside my training, so you can kind of get an idea of a few things that are in there if you haven't taken it yet. But I talk about essays being separate from the workshop. We don't do essays in a workshop model. To me, it doesn't really make sense because it says if essays are game time, if you're on a basketball team, and when it's game time, things are different. You go in a uniform, you go at night. Things are unique and strange. It's not an everyday occurrence. And it's okay if our essays are done in the same way. We put a little bit more emphasis on the routine that you develop in order to get this done. And I tend to want to support them in what is natural, and that is 10 days. Because if you notice that when you go past the 10-day mark on doing an essay or a big project, by day 11, let's say that following Monday, they are spent and you are spent and it is almost worthless. So if you can get it in and out in 10 days, you will do so much better, I promise. And also, having deadlines and moving at a semi-quick pace keeps their enthusiasm going, and it this is what it's like in the real world. So we typically don't have a project that's due in 12 weeks from now. We have something that's due in a week or so. So getting them used to like doing things quickly and then revising deeply and efficiently is what they need to learn how to do. So I introduced my essays with this deconstruct model, and it looks like this. So these are like strips of paper that you put into a file folder. And these are essays that have been all split up. They're in all different order. And then you can see the titles like for each section of it, of an essay. So I don't explain the essay to them first. I just say, I want you to talk about it in your groups and see if you can tell me what are the parts of an essay and what order does it go in. So the conversation itself helps them get to reasoning of what makes sense as a reader. Where is this going? Like, how am I going to understand this information? And they can start to figure it out before you even have to go through and tell them what's in it. And then we start working on the parts of it of like, what is a hit introduction? And I teach them the hook. And if you notice, hook has come up before because that was one of their writing skills in workshops. So we've worked on this so much that writing a good hook is not hugely, you know, like causing them panic, right? So this student who wrote this one, it just kind of came naturally because of all the little rules that I put in place about how to write a hook. Then they introduce it like a reporter, and then they write their thesis. And the rest of it is set up. The body paragraphs are CER, which I do a lot of work with CER the rest of the year. So much of their essay writing is just a repeat of everything they've already done. So there's nothing hugely new when we get to an essay. And this in my training, I go over exactly how I break down essay process, what I do on day one, day two. We're drafting all through the second paragraph, body paragraph that first week. Third body, they're sharing out with their trios, they're finding diamonds. And then I do something on day 8, somewhere in there. You can do whatever you want, but a yellow box method. Basically, I do revision before they turn their work in on my end. I'll let you kind of read through this. You can pause it and read that. But the yellow box method looks sort of like this. And the students highlight a section that they would like for me to take a look at, and they need to pick one that makes sense that they'll get the most out of because I don't repeat things for them. I'm not going to go through and fix every single grammatical error. I will fix it in one part and tell them you need to now go through and finish the rest. So at this point, I want to direct you to another video of mine where I go into much greater detail about the yellow box method and how I have created a system for grading to where I don't grade very much on the weekends, and I certainly don't spend a lot of time when I am grading their essays because I've done the majority of the work before they ever even turned it in. I do the least amount of work once they turn the essay in. So check below. I'm going to put a link to that video, and then I will see you over there.